Repeat avec moi. It is not a dupe if it bears the logo or name of the originator. It's not a dupe. It's a counterfeit. I followed the address, went to the apartment, and it got worse. When he opened the door, it was about 15 men living in one, like a studio apartment, and there were blankets with every kind of designer you could imagine. I wanted to buy one because that's how bad I wanted to be, like not even on trend. I just wanted that bag so bad. Bonjour, mes amis, and bienvenue to another chat. C'est moi, Jessie, your resident Francophile, and here on Cappuccinos and Consignment, I focus on lifestyle, travel, and finance. S'il vous plaît, take a moment to like, subscribe, and follow. Follow me over on Insta. I have a blog and TikTok and Insta. You may just have to search pour moi because I'm not. C'est la vie. So since my last video really ruffled a lot of feathers, I figured I would just go ahead and continue kicking people while they were down. I'm kidding, I kid. But first, d'accord. So I don't know how to say this, so I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, that's not a dupe. That is a counterfeit item. I know. This has been a topic I have wanted to address for so long, but I really did not want to cause any smoke. But again, seeing as though I just did, I'm just here to get everything off of my chest from this point on. No, but this is truly to make you, the consumer, an informed buyer. The term dupe has just been used completely out of context. I wrote a blog about this very long ago, like one of my first blogs. I started Cappuccinos and Consignment as a blogger before I ever decided to get in front of the camera. And I wrote about this. I shared an experience that I had when I, was tempted to enter the dark space. And I should also lead with whatever you decide to spend your money on is your choice. I really don't care. Like, it's not my money. That is your decision. I just want everyone, especially if you are here avec moi, to know what you are saying and know what you are doing. So back to my story time. I went to fashion design school in Milan, Italy, and I was broke. Like, I was surviving off of the goodness of others, sparkling water and gelato. Yeah, it was tough times. I was in design school, and design school isn't as fashionable as people may think. Like, for the most part, I guess the perfect analogy, think about the hairstylist who always wears her hair in a ponytail. It's like that for the most part in design school. Like, you can tell who's a design student and who's like merchandising or retail. Let me know if you studied the arts or went to a fashion college. Let me know if you observed this as well. So with that, I was a fashion design student, and my flatmate was a fashion, I think she was studying visual something. I can't even remember. It hasn't been that long, but I forget. She was really into fashion, like labels, designers, what's in, what's out. And that was not my thing. For the most part, I do love designer items, but very classic pieces. I've shared before that all of the things outside of this Kid Super and the Crafty, for the most part, these are all pieces I have wanted since I was born. So I have never been the type of person to keep up with trends. Like, it didn't matter to me. I am a pretty classic person. I have essentially dressed the same for a very long time. So she was the type that always kept up with trends. If there was a new bag, which I'm going to get into, a new style, she was on it. So I had always wanted a Balenciaga city bag, which I eventually got about a few years ago in Spain. But back then I couldn't. I really wanted a Balenciaga city bag. And those bags, I can't even remember what they retailed for then, but it wasn't free. I couldn't afford to pay for it. And I remember my flatmate having one. She had several. So times when we would go to the disco, go hang out, she would let me use hers. And I really, really wanted my own, but I knew that there was no way I could afford to buy one. One night, as I was just walking around, which I always did, I would just walk around, take these very, very long walks. And I saw this guy, complimented me. We started chatting, and he told me that he sold handbags. And I said, oh my goodness, I would love to see that. In which, in Italy, that's not strange. A lot of people have stores that sell handbags. Italian leather is top tier. So I was thinking that's what he was referring to. But then he told me, well, what designer are you looking for? And I assured him that I can't afford anything that has a designer's name on it. Give me the scraps and I will sew it together. But he assured me whatever it is that I wanted, he could get for me. So at this point, I was still a bit green. I didn't know if he was going to get a bag for me and perhaps like a payment plan. I don't know. I really don't know. He gave me an address and told me where I could meet him to get the bag. So went to this very, very nice apartment. Like, it was stunning from the outside. And if you have ever lived in Europe or even traveled to Europe, for the most part, a lot of those buildings are, they're historically preserved. So you cannot change the exterior. The inside, you have a bit of free range in some cities and countries, but the exterior, almost always, you cannot touch it. So the outside of the building was absolutely stunning. When I walked in, that's when things got really, really bad. Went inside, it was just scary. It was very, very scary. I followed the address, went to the apartment, and it got worse. When he opened the door, it was about 15 men living in one, like a studio apartment, and there were blankets with every kind of designer you could imagine on these sheets, these canvas sheets. And I remember seeing the Balenciaga City bags, and my heart just dropped. He was so persistent wanting me to buy the bag. And now I know how abusive the entire counterfeit ring is, especially for immigrants and different, like that's a whole other post. But I saw how sad those bags looked, and I wanted to buy one because that's how bad I wanted to be, like not even on trend. I just wanted that bag so bad. But seeing where they were living, seeing their entire circumstance just made me so sad. And here I was, like, barely alive, and I was feeling sorry for someone else. So that brings me back to the dupe versus knockoff. What he was selling and what a lot of you all have and call dupes are not dupes. Those are counterfeit. A dupe is something that is inspired. I don't have them on. I recently got a dupe. The Bottega, the teardrop, the ones that are everywhere. I saw those when I was iPotty, I think last year or so. And I had really, really considered buying them, but I just could not bring myself to pay that much money for an earring that did not have a logo, that also was not real metal. So what I mean by that, like my LV hoops, the Fendi hoops, all of those are not real gold, real silver. They're just yellow tone, gray tone, whatever. However, the logo makes them real LV, real Fendi. The Bottegas, I just could not bring myself to. It's like I'm paying maybe €1,000 or so for these weird looking earrings. I did not want to pay for it. And I was pretty sure that dupes would come out. So what makes a dupe different from counterfeit? Dupe is solely inspired. It does not bear the name of the designer. So I'm thinking of some popular things right offhand. I don't have any dupes to share, but outside of the Bottega earrings, thinking of something that is quite trendy now, the Dior sandals. The Dior sandals, the slides that matches with my Dior book tote, Steve Madden has a pair of dupes. Those are dupes. And I'm going to insert a picture. These are dupes. These are dupes because nowhere on the sandal does it say Dior. Had these sandals had Dior on them, they would no longer be a dupe. They would be counterfeit. So that is what separates a dupe from a counterfeit item. I don't know, maybe it just makes people feel better by saying dupe instead of counterfeit, or maybe a lot of people just don't know, because I have received messages from Mazami showing me dupes, inquiring if it was a good dupe, and I didn't know how to respond. One, that's a service, and check the last video regarding that. And two, that's not my ministry. I won't tell someone what's a good counterfeit item or not. Like, that's just not what I do at all. Again, you live your life, make your own decisions, but just know that there was a vintage Mazami that I did have a very in-depth conversation with because of the blog. So that shows you how long she's been around. She was messaging on the blog and it like turned over to Insta because she wanted to send me photos. So she was not aware that it was a difference, because whenever she saw pieces or when people were selling things, they marketed it as a dupe versus a counterfeit. I want you all to know they are not one and the same. If any item bears the logo of the original designer, it is counterfeit. It is fake. It is no longer a dupe. Let's say the Chanel classic flaps. That silhouette of the Chanel bag, so many people have remade those. So many designers have remade those. And that's totally fine. The issue is, if at any point someone put the two interlocking C's on that bag, it's no longer inspired. It is counterfeit. So I want you all to know that, especially a lot of the newer content creators, and not new like as in age, but a lot of people are starting to create content and wanting to do those things. I want you to know what you are showing and what you are marketing. If you still decide to show it, like, that's your prerogative. Like, that's not a problem at all. I just want you to know, because there are so many people who are misinformed, and I have heard all kinds of things. Well, you know what? We're not going to get into that. We will save that for another vlog. I was about to get into the manufacturing process and how, you know, there's this school of thought of, is it still a fake if it's made in the actual factory that the real one was made in, and this and that, you know, that's another space. We'll save that for then. But yeah, this was just a quick session to let you know, please know what you are saying and what you are buying. If it has, I remember this was the Fendi, maybe the Fendi First bag. That was a very, very popular dupe that I saw online. And I looked at the bag and I just felt so bad, because I feel like so many people were so proud of their dupe. And it was welcomed because it was a dupe, but it wasn't a dupe. That was a counterfeit bag. It had the F on it. Like, come on, for crying out loud. This is not any slight, any shade, anything, because again, it does not affect me what you choose to buy and how you choose to spend your money. What bothered me with some of the dupe talk that I would see in the messages circled back to a vlog post that I shared along the lines of, can you have it all? Can you still buy luxury and be financially sound? I read messages with people saying things the same scarcity mindset I see on my page. Oh, I'd rather pay for trips and buy properties than to have these designer bags. That's why I buy the dupe. If that makes you feel better, by all means, but you are not buying a dupe. You are buying a counterfeit product. And why do we continue to operate in this space that you could only have one or the other? So let me stop, because I'm about to go on a tangent. I'll end it here. I just wanted to share with you all so we can all be informed buyers. Repeat avec moi. It is not a dupe if it bears the logo or name of the originator. It's not a dupe. It's a counterfeit. Whether you decide to buy it or not is your business, but just know. Just know. Until the next vlog. Ciao for now.